Welcome back to What Would It Cost? Today we're talking about the big importance of networking in today's day and age.
And we have our special guest, the one and only Virginia Munden from the Buzz Conference.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. I'm so
problem.
excited to be here.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah,
we're
thank
really
you for
excited
coming.
to have this conversation. You bought a shed in Windsor?
You made money in the housing market last year? No way.
Anything you shot on you would have made on.
What would it cost?
That's the $1 million question. You're looking at North Bay now is at $1 million. I don't even think they hand you the keys anymore. What is it going to cost?
How much? Hi, my name's Nicholas Regina.
My name's Michael Sakuro.
And you're listening to
What Would It Cost?
Is that good?
Where are we starting?
We're looking
Well,
forward
tell us a
to
bit about yourself and about the Buzz Conference.
Oh, geez, I don't know where to start. So I'm,
Yeah.
unlike you guys, being newer to the industry yet seasoned, because as I mentioned, you're past one day in. I'm in the industry within the real estate space almost 3 decades. So
Okay.
I've seen changing markets, whether it's real estate, mortgage, finance over the years, but I really believe the next 5 to 10 years are going to change the direction of where real estate is heading. The Buzz Conference just came together through a collaboration of wanting to bring people together, again, to network and learn, share and become inspired by each other, to learn best practices so that they can implement better systems and strategies to their business, especially when serving the consumer. Creating that ultimate real estate experience has always been a passion of ours, and in delivering that experience through our conference space is really important.
That's
Right
awesome.
on. That's awesome.
And
Yeah,
what's, going over, like you're seeing over the years, such a big change, and especially yourself,
over the
you've seen it all.
years.
What's been one major factor that's stood out to you that's really been a huge change from, let's say, 30 years ago from
Yeah,
now?
well, let's talk about immigration,
Right.
which we were just speaking about, and like your parents and my parents, they're immigrants to Canada,
Right.
And when you look at the time when they came from, whether it's Italy or any place throughout Europe, Southeast Asia, they came here with nothing, looking for that all-Canadian dream. And they relied on the power of investing and understanding real estate, owning that piece of Canada, I think was really important for them. But when they bought, prices weren't as high as they are today, but we still see immigrants that come to Canada, newcomers that come to Canada, they are still investing regardless of increasing interest rates or property values. I find that there's a saying, you buy land and wait.
Right.
And that's what everyone is doing. Interest rates are still generally low. When we bought properties, or when our families bought properties years ago, interest rates were 20 to 25%.
Yeah, exactly.
When I bought my first property, interest rates were 14.25%. Prices were lower, but there's a balance. Low interest rates, higher prices.
Right.
Higher interest rates, lower prices. Within Canada, we're going to be seeing between 400 and 413,000 newcomers still coming into our country, and the top areas or countries are going to be China, India, and Nigeria. But I really believe, especially now during the news with the war in the Ukraine and Russia, we're going to start seeing a lot more people coming from those two countries as well.
Right.
That is what's going to keep our real estate industry alive and thriving. Where are we going to put these people? Are the developers and builders building enough affordable housing for them? There's a lot of things to consider, but those are the things that are going to be changing and are going to be part of change within the real estate space for sure.
yeah. Very well said. Love the way you articulate all that and
my
put
pleasure.
it into motion. That's awesome.
But we thank our parents for what they've done. Like your parents investing in commercial space and land. My parents did the same thing too. And they're starting to reap those rewards in this market.
Right.
They bought very low 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, and they're selling high. They bought the properties and they waited.
They held on.
But it's still happening today. Even if people are buying for $1.5 million, they're turning around, 6, 8 months, 12 months later, and they're building on their equity because there's still people coming into our country who need housing and commercial spaces to start their new businesses.
Right.
It's definitely one thing
Right.
that's never going to go away, and that's why they always say you never
Exactly.
lose on real estate. That's for
Exactly.
sure.
Right,
You'll
right.
never lose on real estate.
Yeah. It always comes down to a supply and demand
That's
issue,
right.
That's going to continue to help drive the prices up, right?
That's right.
So now that having a correlation with all the new immigrants coming into the country and them needing, a house and a place to live and
Exactly.
a place of a commercial space for their businesses, it's only going to, have us need to develop more and be able to house them. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And, people always worry, well, what's the average per square foot? If you're looking in downtown Toronto, at one point they were exceeding 1,600 a square foot.
Yeah.
But people think that's pretty high. New pre-construction right now, there was a few releases over the last 30 days.
Yeah.
They came in at 1,200 to 1,400. If you look at, for example, the Van Dyke release, Lakeview Dixie in Port Credit. When you look at Manhattan, New York, their starting average per square foot is $4,500 US, all the way up to $15,000.
Right.
So Canadian properties and Canadian investments are still relatively low.
Right.
And it is still a great time to buy and build on that equity now.
Yeah, still a lot of catching up to do for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
With those bigger metropolitans around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about how much knowledge that you have and how the years of experience combined with the knowledge and how you've channeled that into the Buzz conference, and you're able to put together such a well-organized conference that does right by the industry altogether. And we come from a hospitality background, so
Okay.
and event planning, so we understand what it takes to put together an event of that size, and to
Right.
be there that day and see how well it was organized, all the different
Thank
rooms,
you.
the different panels, the different professionals speaking,
Right.
the itinerary to tie it all together, the vendors there, and just all those moving parts happening in that one day. We were like, wow, this
Thank
is
you so
awesome,
much.
and
Yeah, I
to
did
combine
see you there, I
that-
remember.
Yeah, no, and it was awesome. We were blown away again because we know what it takes to put something like that together, but then combine that with all the knowledge and the experience that you
Right.
bring to the real estate, industry as a whole, and just.
Thank
Tell
you.
us a bit about how that started,
Yeah.
why it started, and what you look to do with it. How many events spun off it, like the one that's coming up on June 24th. And
Right.
yeah,
That's
like
our Philanthropy Initiative. That
Okay,
we're going to be
okay.
supporting Indigenous communities across Canada.
That's awesome.
We think that's
Yeah.
really important, especially with the whole component of affordable housing.
Right.
And lack of housing and lack of necessities in life. We believe that the Indigenous community is one that really needs some responsibility too. So we're going to push that.
Awesome.
We're going to push the boundaries on that.
Very cool.
The Buzz Conference is something that has just come together over the last 12 years.
Okay.
Over the last 30 years, I have always been passionate about attending conferences globally.
Yep.
I've spoken in 13, 14 different countries around the
Oh, wow.
world, including
Okay.
in Milan, Italy,
Nice.
in Turkey, in Malta, in Portugal, Spain, Germany, you name it. I've flown all over the world, and I've always had a passion to share knowledge,
Okay.
but also use that as a way to network and build those critical relationships that are really essential for our business. Referrals, as you know, is a big part of any industry.
Yeah.
So by meeting people and learning what makes them tick in their business when it comes to serving the consumer or in serving their strategic partners, those are things that we try to implement into the Buzz Conference. Our conferences have changed over the last 12 years. We've always made them about the people.
Okay.
We love shining the spotlight on those that are passionate
Yeah.
about serving others to the highest level.
Yeah.
But this time around, we're really intrigued by this new generation realtors and strategic partners like yourself.
Yeah.
I've been in the industry for almost 3 decades. I'm seeing a lot of people leaving the industry, retiring,
Yeah.
or doing their succession planning to their children or grandchildren. And I think this new generation really has heads up on what we've ever had. I started the industry with a pager. there was no MLS, there was no computer, there was no social media, there was no YouTube video, Instagram or TikTok. Like, can you imagine?
We got to bring those back. They were cool. Like,
they were cool, right? And you always heard it vibrating on your hip, right?
You made it known that you had one too. Like the
I know, I'm a real estate agent. I got a pager, you know, and then the mobile devices were the size of 2 chunks of butter. I mean, they were.
Do you ever have the one in your car?
Yeah, the big ones in the vehicle, right? But, you know, the Buzz Conference is about bringing people together. And I think by fusing the seasoned, experienced, successful realtors who've basically laid out the foundation for us today, you know, fused with this younger generation that is so tech savvy and socially inspired by prop tech and digital and virtual advancements. I think if we bring them together, it's a recipe for success. I love that this new generation is using the power of social and social influencing and celebrity status, but we're heading into a time where relationships are really crucial. And what I mean by that is meeting face to face.
Right.
If we call, and this really irks my husband, you know, he'll call somebody through their office and say, can you page John and have him call me? Well, John won't call him. He'll text him and say, hey, it's John, what do you want? You got to pick up the telephone, right? You've got to set up appointments and meet for coffee. I'm not talking about major expenses. I'm talking about truly building relationships by honing on those communication and articulation skills is really, really important. Those are the things that are going to differentiate you from your competition. Nobody does personal notes anymore. Personal notes are going to make you stand out, right? And, you know, handwriting, who even knows how to handwrite a personal note anymore? A signature, I'm not talking about a signature on an email campaign. I'm talking about your handwritten signature. These are the things that are going to stand out. And, you know, I'm going to use an example. Somebody like Alessandra Ocampo from Vantage Law. She has really honed on the experience of sending personal notes, personal surprise and delight gifts to your doorstep that can be enjoyed by your family. I have no hesitation to refer business to Alessandra because I know she is going to take care of my clients, not only in servicing them, but also in making them feel special in that relationship. And Vantage Law is I think it's about the experience with your legal issues when buying or selling a home or writing wills or whatever it may be when it comes to the legal experience. Alessandra makes it and takes the experience even further. That's what this younger generation needs to tweak a little bit, especially as we enter changing times. Right?
That personal touch. And to go to your point with that, I remember I asked her a question on the panel that you had her in one of the rooms. And it was at the end, and I asked them, there was 4 of them sitting there, what makes it so that your business stands out from the others in regards to you guys as the founders, the owners may, you know, treat all the clientele with what that white glove service, but how does that translate onto your staff? And how do they give that same time, love, and care to the client? And she was like, she was ready to go at it, and you could feel the passion. It was like, whoa. And then boom, she had an awesome answer. And then we went downstairs afterwards, and you see the booth with the balloons, and she's there right at the front, and she wants to have conversation. It's like, you know that if you put a client in that, you could tell if you put a client through that firm, all the touch points on that file and the communication with them would probably be you know, A+.
And 30 years ago, we never had legal professions like that, but it's with anyone. I know the insurance industry and the banking industry is a little different. I think the requirements by their corporate offices are different in how you promote yourself online. I could be wrong, but Alessandra, you know, she has her own company, and to attract today's consumer and to attract today's business entrepreneur, Alexandra knows which buttons to hit, because it's about attraction marketing.
Exactly.
And then she hits them with her knowledge and her experience and her success. So kudos to Alexandra. You're
Absolutely.
my favorite. But there's a lot of other great ones too, right? Like it just, I love this generation that is using the power of social media to attract and to educate.
For sure. Love the written notes as well, and the personalizing things like that. It really goes that extra mile. And one thing, so we were at in one of the big rooms. We were on the
balcony,
the mezzanine,
the mezzanine. Okay.
And yeah, we liked that spot where it was like, wow, these are like the most primo seats in the space, but it was the best kept secret, right? Because there's a different entrance. But so we were watching it, and at one point, I like, to speak true of what you said a little earlier there in regards to the older generation and the new generation, and you fusing them together. We were listening in on a panel, and the panel was done right before Tom Story was interviewing Campoli and a few of the younger realtors, and it was like two different worlds. And when we were listening to the first one, and then we were talking about the whole door knocking, the personalized notes, all those real old school marketing tactics and their approach and how the market was then, we looked at each other a couple of times and we're like, hey, like, are we in the right room? Or like, this can't tie into the next panel, because those are all the guys that are really savvy on the social media platforms, and they're putting out cutting edge marketing. It's like, no, this is and then boom, the transition happened. The new group came in, and it was like, whoa, it's like, they did that. So you could see the old world versus the new world.
So when you look at some of our, our seasoned celebrity experienced realtors, though, they're all in the top 1%, if not the top 10 in their respective companies. Loretta Finney, Richard Silver, Ellie Davis, and Tina Mack, coupled with the moderator and CEO of Realogy, which is Sherry Chris. She, they're all unbelievable, but she really honed in on that session. I heard great things about it. They're old school. They use vintage marketing strategies, but people that work within their teams to get that new generation client, whether a buyer, seller, investor, they're using the savvy technology and prop tech within their business. But if you think about it, they've been in the industry, some of them 40 years, 50 years. They are still using traditional methods to build their business. And a lot of it is database, who do you have in your database? How effectively are you communicating to your database? And, what are those items of value? There are still some people who open those email campaigns if it's been consistently delivered to them over time. But then the new generation, they're not clicking on the database. They're clicking on their Instagram account at 7 o'clock in the morning or whenever they wake up.
Exactly.
But you're right.
But
it was very cool how you put that together.
Because it fuses that old generation where still you need that personal touch. So I think sometimes where new generation fails is trying to automate too much. Like you said about the whole tax.
And I hate using those words new old, like their experience. Their experience success stories. Those that have been in the industry for up to 50 years. And I started my career with Loretta Finney, and she gave me my first opportunity at an open house. Her husband, he molded me to become a great realtor almost 3 decades ago. So mentorships, if we can talk about that, those are your mentors. Those are your mentors. And then when you look at Tom Story, Matt Campoli, Matt Leonetti, Nazma Ali or Sahara Mahmood, all of these young entrepreneurs are also doing a fabulous job. The Fulton sisters. They're using the news, and they've taken over. Well, I say they've taken over. I really shouldn't say that. Claire will be angry with me, but that's succession planning. They're the new generation taking over their father and grandfather's real estate business at Century 21. But boy, they've done some fabulous things, and attracting new generation realtors to their brokerage has been paramount through the strategies they use online.
So now talking about your next events coming up, and theme around their show, what would it cost? What's that begin to look like for someone like ourselves that want to either be a panelist or have our own booth or however maybe that we could get involved with the event, and maybe the different costs associated with that?
So we have the next event is not a conference. It is a celebration, and a philanthropy initiative is tied to that event, and that's taking place at the government building at the CNE Stadium in the Artifacts Room. So we're really excited about that.
So that's Liberty Grand.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
We
So-
used to do our annual New Year's party there.
Okay, we love Nick and
Nick
Nadia's
DiDonato,
places,
yeah.
and we love Chibo. If anybody's looking for a great restaurant
Blue
in
Blood
Toronto,
and
Blue Blood,
Don
and
Alfonso,
So we're really excited about hosting this event there. Again, it's a philanthropy initiative. With the Buzz Conference, and we're going to be collaborating with Kendall Netmaker, who was one of our keynote speakers at the Buzz Conference.
Okay.
We're going to be supporting the Indigenous communities across Canada and offering support and initiatives through this foundation that he's creating to support the generation of the future. Again, we're really into the future of Canada.
Right.
And so we're working on a few different things, for that event, but tickets are on sale through Eventbrite. We have early bird tickets at $99.
Awesome.
And we've got international flair. We're going to because we're all about diversity and inclusion, equity and belonging. So we're going to have 5 different international foodies for the foodie people in the industry. We've got like Chinese food, Italian food, Greek food, Indian food, and Canadian. We're going to do a nice menu. And then we're going to have a great cocktail and a cash bar. And parking is additional. So we're really excited about that. It will be our first philanthropy initiative for the Buzz Conference. There are going to be no speakers, but we will have 3 MCs who will be sharing information throughout the evening. It's, I believe, 5 to 11 p.m.
All right.
is the time on June the 24th.
Awesome. Okay,
Yes.
guys,
And
the whole team is rolling.
And
The
you
whole
have
team
to
is
wear
rolling.
white. So
Yeah,
it's going to
okay,
be a summer
okay.
white theme, which is a nautical theme.
Nice.
And I think it'll look great in pictures. The marketing and the branding is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
But it really is a celebration as well for everyone that has achieved success or is building momentum for their success, especially during the last 2.5 years during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
We want to celebrate you all.
Awesome.
And we want to say thank you to you all at this unique event.
Right on.
That's amazing.
Yes, no worries.
Okay, we got to grab the tickets for the whole squad.
Yes.
Right after this.
Yes, they do go up after,
yeah.
I believe it's until June 1st. So
Okay.
$99 until
Nice.
June 1st.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good. We'll make sure the office is there.
And as far as the Buzz Conference, again, we're always looking for new talent, new voices. We've got Buzz Media, which Isabella Munden works and does a really good job in communicating with people daily through email and phone calls. Whoever wants to be a part of our media space through conferences, through meetups, through philanthropy, through our Buzz Digital magazine, or highlighting them on our social media presence, we're open to conversations. We do have a media package that we can send out to you that lays out all the information that Isabella's created, so that there's no, information left, left to ask. We're open to learning more about your Spark Financial,
Awesome.
and anyone else that you believe could be a good fit for our industry. But one thing we don't do is we don't say no.
Right.
If you come to us, that tells us that you want to be a part of something bigger for your clientele and for your career.
Right.
And again, we use Buzz Media as a way to exposing your great services and your energy and momentum for the real estate space in a very creative way. So we're open to working with Spark Financial and both of you.
Love it.
Amazing. Thank you.
And to go on that point, when we want to plug into your ecosystem in a big way and get involved in all the future events, but what happens when you put on such a good event like that and the networking and all the other upside, being there for the industry as a whole, the people that we work with on a day-to-day basis, the lawyers, the appraisers, the realtors, it's almost like, hey guys, we all need to be there as one big crew, and we all got to plug into this because it's going to be good for you, and you want it to be good for your ecosystem as well, to the people that you work with on a day-to-day. So the wheels are turning in my head too in regards to who I want to invite in as a guest to, not only buy tickets but potentially have a booth there as well.
Absolutely.
And,
or being part of a panel. I mean, there's a
Exactly.
lot of different ways to be a part of the Buzz Conference, again, through sponsorship, through being a speaker, through having a booth in Vendor Alley or PropTech Alley. introduction of our panels during the sessions.
Yeah.
We look to explore different ways where we can promote you in the most creative and informative way possible.
Yeah, and shout out to Isabella. I seen her the day of. I didn't
yes.
know who she was
Yes.
or who you were at the time. Again, we were
Yes.
very new to it, but you seen her with the clipboard, and
Yeah.
she was just motoring around. It's like, okay, she's the one really keeping
she's
the
really
reins
the boss.
tight.
Isabella's got her degree
Yeah.
in communications from Laurier University.
Okay,
So
awesome.
I really look to her for communicating with this new generation. Yesterday she was on the phone with a few of the newer realtors under 3 years of age who are going to be in the industry under 3 years. And looking to have them part of the Buzz Digital magazine. I believe it's the May 31st issue.
Awesome.
Because we want to start featuring more of the younger generation as well and give them a voice. It's important we look at collectively collaborating with each other, and we can't discount this younger generation. I'm just so proud of all of you.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Right on.
So when attending the event as a sponsor, how much would a booth look like to cost?
Well, the cost for the booth is your expense, but we have our sponsorship levels range from bronze all the way up to title. And sometimes there's ways of working together.
Yeah.
But it can range anywhere from $1,500 and up.
Yeah. Right on. And then there's tickets that come separate, right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are those tiered as well?
Nope,
And that's
nope.
on time,
all
or it's
tickets
the
are
one
one price.
Okay.
We treat everybody like a VIP attendee.
Yeah.
And just everyone has an opportunity to attend.
Yeah.
The value is in the network.
Right.
It's how you explore ways to meet, engage, and learn about people.
Yeah.
If you have business cards, or if you have your technology ring where you just bump and everything transfers to the iPhone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways for you to use the power of networking. One thing that we like to encourage is the wearing of lanyards. We couldn't have lanyards at this past event because of the liability of privacy.
Okay.
So because the venue, which is the Living Arts Center, is owned by the City of Mississauga, and they wouldn't give us the database. But we are looking for ways to improve on that at our next event. But that should have given everybody the opportunity to, hey, what's your name? What's your name? Let's learn more about each other, right?
Definitely want to say that the ROI was times 1,000, in regards to what we were able to see and our target market being there, which are the realtors, and just understanding, the who's who in the industry, and then being educated from who was up on stage. It was just like, wow, what a day. Right.
Excellent.
So I don't even remember the ticket price.
So you guys have been here asking me questions. So why don't we just end it by telling me a bit about Spark Financial? Let's give you guys a plug during the Buzz Conference.
Sure.
Yeah, so we're a full-service brokerage. We offer lending in the A space, B space, and C space, private lending. And ideally, the way we've built ourselves around is having that white glove service to differentiate ourselves. Because the way we look at it is you could go anywhere and everybody's always offering the same rate. There might be a little bit here and there that you could do with a rate, but it's really about how the service and the quality of that experience is for the clients.
Right.
So that's one thing we really like to focus in on. We take care of anything from purchases, refinances, first-time home buyers on the A space. The B space we like to use for those clients that maybe are self-employed or having trouble with credit. And then we always try to bring it back as how can we build them back up to an A. We always want to make it where the A is the end goal. So once we complete that transaction, we explain to them that, this is the reasoning we went for this product and our timeline with the product. And we like to also do sort of like a financial advising / consulting on, okay, these are the next steps we need to follow, maybe to build your credit back up or build that income back up so we can get you into that final product, as we like to call is your A mortgage. Yeah. And then on the private side, we really like to use that for our clients who are looking to flip homes or construction financing or just even those bridge loans. Look at it as, again, that short-term option to move you up to that B lending or right to the A lending after the fact. And then on the other hand, for the privates, we also offer the private investment side where we connect lenders that we have with our borrowers.
We are located in Vaughan. That's where our headquarters is at. And we have an awesome company culture. It's something that we believe in a big way. And in that office, we have, games, arcade games. We have a putting green. We have a basketball net. We have a very vibrant energy. So we encourage meetings. We encourage the face-to-face sit-downs.
So important.
We encourage our staff to come in. Even though a lot of things could be done mobilely, we really encourage people to get in that space because there's a solid energy in there that we want everyone to feel and to also rub off on. And with that being said, we do have international vision. We want to scale nationally and then take it to the international level. So we're just starting off in Toronto.
Big goals. I love big goals.
Yeah,
I think that's really important.
Yeah, we've been down to Ottawa a handful of times in the last couple of years. That's going to be our next stop in Canada.
Yes.
And we also want to move out west too, out in the Vancouver scene. But right now we're perfecting our systems and our processes and making sure that, we got everything nice and tight. And then we're going to take that and we're going to go.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. And then to Nick's point about, the company culture and how we have our office running even for the clients to see is, again, it's like we're talking about, the past versus the present. Everybody always thinks mortgages, it's, you're going into debt. It's the boring aspect. It's black and white. It's numbers. So we really want to make it fun because at the end of the day, it is a bit, draining in the sense of what we're doing. It's always looking at numbers, collecting the documents. So really creating that fun atmosphere for our employees, but as well as for our clients as well when they come in. So it's vibrant when they come in, not that they're walking to some stuffy place where here, just sign here and that's it. Yeah. Just creating that experience on both ends, consumer and for our employees.
Really appreciate that. Thank you. So that was an awesome episode. And I'm Nick Regina from Spark Financial Group.
Michael Sacro from Spark Financial Group. And thank you very much for coming out and speaking with us today. We really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. I wish you guys the best of luck. I see nothing but success for you both and Spark Financial.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. And just let the audience know where they could find more about the Buzz Conference, Buzz Media.
Sure. Follow us on Instagram at the Buzz Conference, and also follow Bella at Buzz Media at Buzz Media on Instagram as well.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of What Would It Cost? We'll be sure to check you out next week. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, and we'll see you next week.
Next on What Would It Cost?
The hospitality industry was certainly impacted the most out of any industry in Canada during the pandemic. There was 1 million jobs lost in the first 2 months. There's this old school mentality that people have to be in the office. I think it is important to build culture and build a strong dynamic with your team and that trust and rapport. But the pandemic has just really shifted employees' mindset. So it is tough to find someone who, checks off all those boxes that make sense for the employer and the employee. It's funny because sometimes candidates will ask me when they send me their resume, they'll be like, oh, so what's it going to cost me? And I'm like, it doesn't cost you anything. You know what I mean? Because they're probably wondering, well, how does this person get paid? You know what I mean? But I don't ever take money from a candidate. It's not how it works because I'm not searching. I'm not your personal recruiter, you know what I mean?